She had me laughing out loud so many times. This episode has so many funny moments in it. It's insane. It is so insane. All right, I'm gonna just jump right into it. Okay, so this is season 2, episode 10 of Mushoku Tensei, and so we start off here, with Fitz, seeing Rudy talking to Cliff and let me see back up here. So we see him talking to Rudius is talking to Cliff and Elenice. I didn't really know how to say her name. Whatever. And then she gets, and then, well, he gets jealous of that. Fitz gets jealous, and again, this is just more of Fitz contemplating like, what kind of girl does Rudius like? Um, should I or shouldn't I tell him? And this has been going on for like a lot of episodes now in season 2, and I think people are really tired of it, but this episode, it's finally, that is on the verge of pretty much being done, and we'll get to that later. But so let's get past this opening here. We see that this guy, the Demon King, I'm just calling him Demon King. We see the Demon King is still here, and I'm not really sure if he's a student or like a special student now. They still don't really tell us like why he's still here and like what he's doing here. But he asks Rudius like, what's like more important than getting power, and the Demon King says women, of course, which is funny and obvious what he would say, because that's such a Shoko Tensei like answer right there. But anyways, after that, this beginning part kind of here, we kind of go through like Rudius's routine every day. You know, he wakes up early, trains, then goes to breakfast here, and we see these guys in the hallways that are like kind of avoiding Rudius, because if you remember a few episodes ago with the Demon King, Rudius basically defeated him, and so now everyone in the school is like seeing his power and like know how strong he is, so they're like, hey, let's not mess with that guy. But yeah, so like they're avoiding him, and then even this, oh my gosh, this gorilla woman or whatever avoids him also in the hallway. And then we have Linnea and Persinia here telling him that, go easy on her, because like she's just, scared, obviously, because she knows his power too. And then they're also like, hey, make us look good in front of everyone else. And then they're like basically telling him that he should establish a hierarchy, because that's how an organization is run. But he's like, nah, you both can be my number two. But then Linnea is like, nah, man, that's not how that works in an organization. And then so we skip here to Cliff asking him about curses. Yeah, because he's been asking Rudy about curses every day, because remember, Cliff is trying to cure Elenice's curse that she has, where she has to like get with guys all the time. So Rudius ends up telling him about Ruijerd's story, and how uh, curses were like transferred into the spears of the superbs, and then they went berserk. So Rudius tells him about that, and then he is like, okay, that gives me an idea, and thanks him and all that. So that's cool. And then we skip to lunch here, where we see, and this is like the first like real funny moment right here. So like they're here at lunch drinking, and then this man, crap, no, I can see if I can find it. And then this king makes this face twice. Like, what is this face, bro? Like, he's drinking like whatever that drink is, and he makes this face twice, and he's like, and it's just, that's hilarious. It's just weird and like funny and goofy. But anyways, moving on from that, then he meets up with Nanahoshi, who gave us a whole bunch of lore in the last episode, a whole bunch of like exposition, about lore and all that. So we know that. So he's trying to help her with summoning circles because he has like a bunch of mana, and then she's like creating the circles in order to try to summon someone to the world. But then Rudy is obviously like, well, I actually he gets curious about them too. He gets curious about summoning circles too. So he's like, "Can you give me more information?" But then she's like, "Nah, wait till we're like done with all the experiments or whatever." And then he's obviously like bummed out by that. So then she's like, "Learn more about yourself if you want to." I mean, she throws a book on this man's head. She literally just throws the book on the man's head, and I don't know, but me personally, I would be like, woman, what the heck? I know you did not just toss a book on my head, and then so that was kind of funny. But then we move on to see that Rudius is still teaching Julie how to like make stuff, but I believe it's mentioned that she's kind of like in a standstill, kind of like she hasn't improved too much recently, and so they gotta probably fix that. Um, so then we move on to here. I don't remember. Oh, yes, here we go. Yeah, he gets a letter from Soldat. So if you don't remember who Soldat is the leader. Let me just find a picture of it. Yeah, here we go. Soldat, the guy who was in the village that Rudius was in before coming to this school. Also, kind of weird that Rudius kind of just because at the beginning, just a small nitpick. At the beginning, Rudius literally tells us that he's been here for like a whole year, but then in this scene right here, he's like, I don't know, I don't remember how, or I don't know how long it's been since he's seen him. But it's like, dude, you literally just said at the beginning it's been a year since you've been at the school. So that's just a weird little thing that I noticed. But anyways, Soldat came here because like there's like a meeting of clans or whatever. So like clan meetings twice a day or whatever. Not really that important, I guess. But anyways, this is a funny moment right here. Soldat asks Eleni is like, what is a how is a slut like you having a boyfriend? No, that's another funny thing about Mushoku Tensei. Like this dude just straight up asked her, "What is a slut like you doing with a boyfriend?" And it's so just like unhinged and like hilarious. And then she's just like, "Oh nah, no man has captured my heart before Cliff." And it's like, bruh. And then yeah, and like Soldat and Rudius are both like, "Bro, what the heck are you talking about? You were such." You were with guys like every night before. But whatever. So Soldat has to leave in order to go to another clan meeting, and then Cliff and Elenice are going. So then it's stated that Elenice is like taking Cliff on like an adventure, to like show him, to show him the ropes of adventuring, and that's cool. So Rudius heads back to the school, and then he ends up meeting I honestly forget what this dude's name is, honestly, but he's a relative of Rudius, and so then we have here Fitz. Then we have Fitz here, but like in this scene, like Fitz doesn't really can't really talk to him, and it's kind of like explained later on that like Fitz is called Silent Fitz for a reason because Fitz doesn't speak in public because when she's like guarding her, yeah, right here, when Fitz doesn't speak while guarding her highness. And so it's kind of like a weird situation where Rudius, it's like you can't say nothing to me, like I'm like your friend or whatever. So it's kind of like an awkward situation here. And then, this man Rudius is like really hurt by it. Like he's thinking about it all the way back to the school, and then he's like, I need someone to talk to about it, but Zenoba and Julie aren't here. The Doldia girls wouldn't really listen to him. Nanahoshi wouldn't really care to listen either. So then he just goes and straight up confronts Fitz in the library, and then that's when Fitz explains earlier, like I mentioned, that like, Fitz like sounds childish, so like that's why she doesn't speak, so people will take him seriously out in public, So he explains that, and Yeah, and then basically Rudius is like still like contemplating it, but then he kind of puts two and two, like you said, he puts two and two together, and he assumes he makes this like assumption that like the person earlier must have not been actually Fitz, but like the princess that she guards in disguise, Princess Ariel, and I at first I thought this was like that was like sort of like really weird, like a huge leap. But then I watched a video just before making this one. I think the channel was like Esper Tourist Spirits or something like that. I'm sorry, I'm butchering that man's channel, but he mentions how like there was actually cut content and like that, so it actually was Princess Ariel in disguise as Fitz earlier in the episode because she has like this ring that helps her, that literally just disguises her as someone else, but like obviously her voice stays the same, so if she talks, people like Rudius could figure out that it's her. So yeah, that's like gives context to like this kind of scene right here. It's really, yeah, really weird that they just had Rudius like make this like wild assumption. It seems pretty off. But when it comes to adapting light novels and stuff like that, stuff is gonna get cut. But but things are cleared up here. Fitz explains everything, so like they're back to this is the real Fitz, by the way. This is not the princess in disguise. This is the real Fitz. So everything is explained, and everything pretty much goes back to normal. And so then we go on this journey of Rudius trying to figure out what the sex of Fitz is because he is catching feelings for Fitz. But I'm gonna just go ahead and assume. I don't know why I'm talking as if like I'm making this for like. I'm talking as if like for like the people who don't watch anime on my channel, but like also I feel like I should just talk for the people that do watch this. As we all know, Fitz actually is a guy. He presents himself as a guy, but she's actually a female. But like Rudius doesn't know that, and so Rudius thinks he's falling in love with a man. So then he goes on this journey to try to figure out what Fitz's sex is, but like the head master here can't tell him because like his superiors doesn't let him. You know, but and then we get here. What would I do if he turned out to be this? All right, this moment had me laughing out loud. I'm gonna play this real quick and just yeah. This man, this man listen is like I could at least jerk off. And then you see, and then this is Fitz right here that almost hold on. I wish, and then Fitz is right there. And then we get this scene where, that was showed in the previews, we see Fitz on top of Rudius like this, and then he figures it out that she's a woman. Hold up. Hold on. And then that's how he figures it out. And this whole situation is just hilarious. It's just so hilarious. So it's finally been discovered. We are finally at the point where Rudius figures out Fitz is actually a woman. And for those of you, I guess I'll tell this to the people who don't watch this and don't know. Fitz is actually his real name is Sylphie, and she is the childhood friend of Rudius. But she's been scared to tell him for like the entire season so far that she is who she is. But now Rudius has finally figured out that Fitz is a woman, but he doesn't know that it's Sylphie, his childhood friend. And it's honestly just about time, because I think many of us were just tired of like seeing Fitz, Sylphie, whatever you want to say, just contemplate whether or not telling him, and now we're finally getting somewhere. We're finally getting somewhere. So Rudius is obviously ecstatic about this, but he's like, I'll still try to treat her as a man because, like, she obviously doesn't want people to know that she's actually a woman. So, and then we get to the next thing that made me laugh out loud. What is Man's doing? What is he doing? Oh, but this show is just so ridiculous. This show is just so ridiculous. And oh well, I can see my way forward. And he's like, I'm gonna take things slowly. He says he's gonna take things slow from now on. But that is basically season 2, episode 10 of Mushoku Tensei. These feelings, and what a laugh out loud episode, honestly. And like, I'm just glad that we're finally getting somewhere with this whole situation between Fitz and Rudius, because I think a lot of us were getting really tired of it and bored. But now, thankfully, we're finally getting somewhere. Finally getting somewhere. So next episode is episode 11, To You, and that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I said walking. Be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.